Hey, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in again. I wanted to repeat a recipe that I already had filmed, but I wanted to twist it up a little bit because I got a hold of all these ube bottles and I just wanted to make this specialty, this Filipino specialty cake, even more extraordinary. So everybody loves cassava cake from the Philippines. It's so yummy, so chewy, so delicious. So let's get to the recipe and I'll show you why this one is different from the original recipe. So 2 packs of grated cassava. So this is what cassava is, and this is a brand I like. I think cassava is cassava, but because this one has an expiration date, this one expires in January 2022, it really does help the consumer decide if it's an old pack or a new pack. Other ones don't have the expiration date. So this is the one that I am going to endorse for right now. And this is by Masagana Grated Cassava. And what it is basically a root, like a tuber, like potato. I can't really explain it, but that's what it is. And I've been eating it all my life. My mom used to just microwave the whole root and get that softened and feed it to us after dipping it in sugar. But that's what it is. So 2 packs of these. 1 can condensed milk. So any condensed milk will do. So this is sweetened condensed milk. I think they're all the same. So 1 can condensed milk. 1 can coconut milk. So all coconut milks are not made the same. So this is a brand that I use only Cha O Co. This says coconut cream, and this is the one I got hold of. But this is the same. This is the same as when it's a brown and white bottle and it says coconut milk. They're both the same difference. So this is just a packaging that it came in this time around. And these are products, these coconuts are products of Thailand. So I won't endorse any other coconut milk except for this one. All my recipes are used with this one, and they always come through. So this coconut milk. Okay, 1/2 bottle macapuno strings. So this macapuno strings is by Pamana, and that's okay. So coconut sports strings in syrup, macapuno strings. Okay, so 1/2 bottle of that. 2 teaspoons ube. Actually, when I was doing the recipe this morning, it's actually 4 teaspoons of ube extract, 4. And I'll show you the color that I thought that made this one really pretty. So 4 teaspoons of ube extract. All right, so let's get to mixing. So I already here have opened up the cassava. Okay, so all we're gonna do now is just add ingredients. So this is 2 packs of cassava, 1 can condensed milk, okay, so 1 can condensed milk, 1 can coconut milk, 1 can coconut milk that went right in, 1/2 bottle macapuno strings. Here we go. 1/2 bottle of the strings go right into the batter. Okay. And it's 4 teaspoons ube extract. 4 teaspoons. 1. Okay. Have my second bottle here. 2. So that's 4 teaspoons of ube extract. Okay, before I forget, there is an important component to this recipe, and it is done after this batter goes into the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes, and it is the glaze over the top of the cassava. So that glaze consists of 1/2 can condensed milk, 1/2 can coconut milk, 1 egg yolk, and the other half of the macapuno strings. And then when you actually glaze that, you have to do 350 for about 25 minutes to get it glazed, and then in the last 5 minutes you want to go ahead and broil the top at low. It's so yummy. So definitely don't forget that part. That's an important part. Okay, so back to the batter. Okay, so I put in my 1 can, my 2 packs grated cassava, my 1 can condensed milk, my 1 can coconut milk, my 1/2 bottle macapuno strings, and then my 4 teaspoons of ube extract. So here we go. So you're gonna see this develop real nicely here, this pretty purple. What I'm doing here is just breaking the cold cassava apart. And I guess if you have a stand-up mixer, you could do that too. But this particular one, I prefer to kind of break it apart with my hands. Okay, so it is coming along really well. So just a few more. Minutes here. And sometimes the cassava, like I said, is a root, so you have to take out some of the root pieces. There's not a lot, but if you know that there's a root piece in there, definitely just take a second to pull it out. Okay. My ovens are preheated at 350, so this is ready to go in the oven. Okay, so I'm just kind of inspecting it a little bit before I pour it into its molds. All right, I think it's ready. Okay, so I found another root, and like I said, it's not that often, but if you see it, just go ahead and pick it out. Okay, so I have a surprise for you. I am doubling up the recipe. So I just have 2 bowls of the same thing. So all I have to do for this one is add the macapuno to this one. And this one I pre-stirred. So these are just basically the same recipe. I'm just having to do it twice because I am going somewhere today where people are gonna love this. All right, so both are ready to be poured in. So what I decided to do is do these little baking sheets. Okay, they work really, really well. And I'm probably gonna do 1 or 2 pies. Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna fill the pie shell up first. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a little bit empty at the top because when we pour in the glaze, which is made out of that condensed milk and coconut milk, it'll need some room. And that is, like I said, another very important step of the recipe, the finishing touch of the recipe. So the same for this one, have to leave some. So what I'm doing is I'm taking out some of the consistent pieces, the cassava pieces. I'm taking it out of one of them because this one doesn't seem too thick, and I'm just removing some liquid there. All right, so you see that this particular serving serves 1 pie and then 4 little pound cake shape. It's probably the size of my whole hand here. Or you could do, with this serving, 2 pies, or probably 1, 2, 3, 6 little pound cake shapes. So you have to plan accordingly depending on where you're going for your thing here, your Thanksgiving or your friend's party or whatever you have to do to plan accordingly. But I actually like to go ahead and make them into these little molds because they get passed out nice. Now I could probably have put this whole thing into a regular baking tray, a 9x13, and it would fit just nice too. So you could do that too. You could do whatever you want. But anyway, so these are gonna go in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes, and it got to be cooked through and through. This particular root has to be cooked through and through. It's the same thing that they use boba for. It's a cassava root that the same thing. I think with the boba though, they probably dye it dark, but this particular one we're dyeing it purple with ube. So definitely cook it through and through. So you get that 45 minutes at 350, and then once we take it out, we're gonna glaze it over with 1/2 can condensed milk, 1/2 can coconut milk, 1 egg, and another 1/2 bottle of macapuno strings, and do that about 25 minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead at the last 5 minutes, broil it over the top. All right, I'll see you then. So you saw me mix up that yummy stuff of 2 packs of grated cassava, 1 can condensed milk, 1 can coconut milk, 1/2 bottle of macapuno strings, and about 4 teaspoons of ube extract. I baked that at about 350 for 45 minutes. And so what I did, after 45 minutes, I went ahead and mixed in the 1/2 can condensed milk, another 1/2 can of coconut milk, and 1 egg yolk, and 1/2 bottle of the remaining macapuno strings. So that was a separate mix that we put over the cassava as kind of like a glaze. And here it is. Ooh-wee, this is really, really hot. So you saw me mix it up and put it in the pie mold right here. So this is the final ingredients and touch. So that was about I put that about 350 for an additional 25 minutes once I put on the top glaze. And then the last 5 minutes I broiled it on a low. And that's what gave it this kind of creme brulee top looking here, where it's a little bit brown. Right here. It's a better picture. Doesn't that look yummy? Some of the ube cassava is peeking out at the top. So let's look at the other ones. Okay, so this one turned out just a tad bit more purple. It soaked up the ube from the bottom. That one is so delicious, and these things are piping hot. Here's a really, really pretty one right here. Just a little bit of broiled glaze on the top. This one's really pretty too. Some of the ube cassava peeking out at the top. And then the very last one. This is a really pretty broiled top. It's really golden. So you can see over here some of the ube peeking out right here, and then the broiled glaze on the top. So that was a success. In my book, that's a success. And I already know how this tastes. I've eaten it millions of times. So ube I've eaten a million times, so I know that it's delicious. So if you ever wanted to try this, don't be shy. It'll turn out okay. Just follow the steps that I've been talking about and the ingredients that I prefer, and you'll get this exact recipe. So I have a surprise for you, and it's really, really fun. So what I decided to do the glaze in ube too. So I did the exact same recipe for the glaze, but what I did with the glaze is I added 2 teaspoons of the ube to the glaze. So that would be to the 1/2 can condensed milk, 1/2 can coconut milk, 1 egg yolk, 1/2 bottle macapuno strings, and then I put 2 teaspoons ube extract to the glaze. If 2 teaspoons is too dark for you, because you'll see that it's dark, you could go down to maybe 1 1/2 or 1, but yeah, it looks really, really pretty. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. So this is the cassava with the ube glaze. Doesn't that look pretty? So this is a darker glaze. And you can see a little bit where it's a little bit broiled at the top, the coconut that's sticking out here. Okay. So, so pretty. See if I could get it in a better light where it looks more purple than black. There you go. So that was the pie that I made out of that one, okay? And then here is one that I shaped into a pound cake mold. And then let's see if I could get a better, there you go, better image. Purple might be a little bit strange to some people that are not used to this ube stuff, but Filipinos have been making purple desserts since whenever, since forever. Okay, so here's another one. You can see the macapuno string sticking out, and it's so, so delicious. All right. So I will be putting the ingredients down in the drop down list right under the video, so you have kind of like it in a organized fashion so you don't get confused. And I really do try hard to put down the ingredients and text them well so that the reader and the chef doesn't get mixed up, so that you can come out with the same product as I do and you don't feel like you wasted your time. So as you see, they did come out well, and it's Thanksgiving today, so I really wanted to do this. It's hard sometimes because when I have the urge to bake, I have to figure out who would really want to eat this. Sometimes the audience is a little bit different, where they wouldn't know what cassava root was, but everybody knows what boba is, and cassava is a primary ingredient in boba, so that's what makes these Filipino desserts so delicious, because they're so chewy and moist, especially when they're hot. But let's get one last look at the two pies. All right, so this is just a ube with the regular glaze at the top. And this is a ube. All right, I'll let you go. Happy Thanksgiving.